The state of trucking. Is it a time to get in, time to get out? That's the ever so question. We're here to talk about those kind of topics. The audience, this is intended for the individual with some aspirations to get into trucking and is doing his or her research.
Yes. So let's address a couple of chicken littles of the industry first.
Here we go.
Obviously, everybody who is looking to get in, everybody who is looking to start a trucking business, everybody who is looking to buy a truck, everybody who perhaps already have a truck and just looking for a better ways of making money, better ways of doing things. We all spend a little bit of time probably on social media looking for answers.
Yeah, doing your research because you want to make the right move.
Yes, and unfortunately, the social media is full of very, very bad answers, in my opinion.
Yeah, the art is that there's good answers as well. You just have to be able to sift through facts and through emotions.
But the bad answers, the empty negative answers, we have a lot more traction because misery loves the company. So let's address a couple of things why a lot of naysayers would say don't do it. Don't get into trucking. Don't participate in it. Don't buy a truck. Don't start your own trucking company. Don't, because the man is there to get you.
Yeah, usually they point at the time is not now because of A, B, and C factors.
So let's start with first point. Man, at this with this fuel prices, you can't make it because everything that you're making, the rates versus the fuel cost, you're losing money.
Right.
So somebody may feel about it like this, but I would say that's a very emotional approach because I call it BS. Nobody likes high fuel prices, for sure. Never liked it, ever. Never liked low rates. Mm. The idea of good business is always pay the least amount possible for fuel and get the most amount possible for a load.
Right. So you got to know that this factor, like let's say just the fuel, because that's what we're talking about right now, it doesn't move independently from everything else. So if price of fuel is actually going to, bottom out, just like this guy wanted, what happens to the price of trucks? What happens to the price of rates? So everything is connected in some way or direction. So there's no actual perfect storm. That is what you got to be looking for.
Absolutely. And even if your only sole decision making is based on the fuel, even though it doesn't matter, like we've been through times when the diesel was over $5 a gallon, mm-hmm. and we've been through times when the diesel was probably $2 something a gallon. Back when they started, I think diesel was 87 cents per gallon. So I've been around for a minute. And all this time, the money was possible to be made.
Right. So because even that, so guys, like consider the guy telling you don't jump in because of it's not the perfect time. So what was that individual's perfect storm? Right? Did it even exist? The idea is to get, if you have the right mindset and you have the discipline, right? Because you can be excited about something, but you need the discipline in order to be successful. I think that should be more of a key factor than looking at the variables.
Yes, I think most of the individuals talking you out of your dream. We talk with a lot of authority for whatever reason, but in reality, we don't know jack shit. If you're going to tell them about, hey man, what about the fuel discounts? Have you used any of those programs? Oh, that's bullshit.
Right.
What's your truck's fuel economy? I just had a conversation with one of those special people online. I'm like, what's your fuel economy? And the guy's like, if the loads were paying whatever, like in his opinion, $5 a mile, I would love that to see. I would love to see that. Don't get me wrong. But his whole thing is, if the loads were paying $5 a mile, I wouldn't have to worry about fuel economy. Okay, so what's your fuel economy? And he is arguing that if the things were right, he should be able to afford 4 miles of a gallon.
Right, but that's, and then again, if an entitlement, this is just a business. This is a business. So having a truck with 4 miles to the gallon in this temperature outside.
In any temperature.
It's just
ever.
The truck is nice. I get that, but that's just a poor business decision.
Yes.
At the end of the day, because you're leaving money on the table, regardless of your why and justified or not, you're leaving money on the table.
Yeah, good example. You buy a Ferrari to do the Uber job. You can only take one passenger.
And that's it.
And you're freaking broke, man.
Yeah.
Because nobody cares. Everybody is going to look at the price because you can't even see which car going to pick you up. It's just going to say kind of like the rough category, but we don't have no category for a Ferrari because I would use that. That would be pretty fun. But the reality is, I would use that for my birthday or something, once a year.
Yeah.
But as a business model for somebody to buy a Ferrari to do the Ubering, that's a bad idea. So same thing is, to buy a super expensive, almost collectible type of truck that runs 4 miles of a gallon, but it's like the biggest, baddest beast in the truck stop, and all the truckers are now excited about your truck.
It's crazy, right? Because
and your kids are hungry.
Right, because here's the thing, right? So you've made it to this point that you're actually considering trucking. So let's say you're sitting on some cash to buy this truck. You could do anything. It doesn't matter. Like if you were looking at a pizzeria, if you were looking at a laundromat, everything has challenges, period. Nothing is just as clean cut, a race to success. Everything has to have some level of responsibility, commitment, and struggle. That's how you get to success. There has to be that contrast in order to evolve. But now if you made it this far, it must be because this is what you're good at.
So how do you actually get past this? And again, we're only talking about talk about fuel economy. All right, let's talk about it. How do you get past this? First of all, you get the best truck that you can get when it comes down to fuel economy. We're not talking about chrome. We're not talking about bells and whistles. We're talking about the perfect workhorse with low mileage and really, really good fuel economy. That's what you're looking for. And again, I always talk crap about KWs.
Yeah.
And man, I looked up on the Motive.
Mm-hmm.
The most fuel efficient truck on our fleet. I don't know how.
How it's not Volvo?
it's a Kenworth, man. But don't take this as a good example. I'm still convinced that the best truck for anybody is Volvo or Freightliner, Cascadia. Stay away from classic trucks if you're about making money. Pay attention to your fuel economy. Slow down, because at the end of the day, again, I see these drivers like, I should be able to drive 80 miles in the speed limit. Yeah, you should be, but how about this? How about you drive 65 or less and you're taking home $3,000 every week, or you drive 75 plus and you take home $1,500?
That's like a prime example, man. About 2 weeks ago, we actually had one of our guys, man, same miles. The only thing different really was the truck. Man, $1,000 difference on the settlement check.
Yes.
Because of fuel.
And I've seen it. I've seen it with some guys that near and dear to me. Mm-hmm. We've been friends before we ever worked together. And man, I had the guy with this beautiful long nose Pete. I think the video of that Pete is still somewhere on our social media. That's an older video. And it's a beautiful white long nose Pete. And this guy was running, and he was running the same lanes as the other guy. And again, Peterbilt 387. Which is still Peterbilt, which is still, in my opinion, not the best truck, with not the best fuel economy. And the difference every week was almost $1,000.
There you go.
$1,000 take home, and that is huge. And that guy with a long nose Pete, he's not an idiot. Mm-hmm. He was driving slow. He was doing everything he could do. He was really, really good with maintenance of his equipment and everything else. That truck's just not made to run anything like that. No, man, he got really, really sick at some point.
Okay.
And then he sold the truck because he was pretty much done with trucking. But other than that, man, that was his dream. He was a Harley guy. So Harley and Pete. but anyway, I think the solution to this problem, fuel economy, focus on that. Don't look at chrome, fuel economy. Don't look at long nose Pete. Look at the Cascadia. Look at the Volvo. Look at not my favorite, the hell of that, ProStar. Look at something more modern with better fuel economy. Do the research.
Yeah, because remember, just like Mike said, it's going to go up and it's going to go down. So when it's up on that peak and the fuel, let's say the fuel prices are dropping and you're winning for that moment in time, you're actually doing better than your average guy because you paid attention to your fuel economy. And now that's the time
every single time I see somebody on our fleet, unfortunately, man, I've seen trucks running 3.5 miles per gallon. I've seen trucks running 4 miles per gallon. And then it comes down to the money. Where is the money? Man, you burned all the freaking money. I hope it makes you feel super, super cool. Maybe that's what you live by and swear by, and maybe that's your whole existence. I think if you're already getting into trucking, you're ready to work hard to improve your life, to improve your family's life, man, make some money. Do everything that you need to do to make some money. And if you want to look cool, make enough money and buy a freaking exotic car. And then ride cool.
Yeah, because
don't do that though.
Now that does lead us into the next one where, why don't these guys actually re-up and change, right? A lot of the times I think it's because once there's a truck that's paid off, that is an accomplishment. It's a milestone, yes, but it's you can't really sit on that forever because of the situations like this. So a guy buys a moneymaker cash. Let's not fear a truck payment.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. By the way, before we continue with this topic, let me do a shameless plug-in. Guys, if you are an owner-operator or looking to become an owner-operator and you're based out of Florida, give us a call, 863-342-5171. We make impossible possible. We will teach you how to be successful in any market, any condition, any fuel price, any situation. And stop listening to the naysayers because the things are not so bad.
Here we go.
All right, so the truck payment. Absolutely. One of the misconceptions, again and again, once I'm going to be done with a truck payment, I'm going to be good.
But check this out. Fear is the number one enemy out there that stops people getting to their destination. So in this topic, it's going to be fear of a truck payment. What that actually does to the owner operator in his business.
Yes. A lot of people, unfortunately, we make some bad decisions once we get to that no payment situation because we simply start working less. We only work the bare minimum that we need to work, and the truck keeps on declining because it gets older and older and older and older.
And it's sometimes, I see guys like they forgot what they came for. There's a lot of times, I'll see guys on the weekend working on that yard, getting that truck up to par, and then it breaks down anyway. So you're exhausted.
So
you're absolutely exhausted.
At the end of the day, this is just my opinion. You do as you wish, but I would never do truck overhaul. I would never do any repair on the truck that's going to be more than $20,000 at once. And if I do that once, I'm probably in some sort of bad situation that I don't have an opportunity to go just trade it in into something else and carry on. Because if you're going to buy a truck, let's say 500,000 miles, you still have anywhere between 450 and 250,000 miles to run and make money. Take that about 10,000 miles a month because you're going to take some vacations. You're going to have a little bit of time down because the breakdown is going to happen.
Right.
The holiday is going to happen and so on. You have plenty of time in that truck that's still going to be reliable with bare minimum breakdowns because, you got to be very, very unlucky for any truck under 750,000 miles have a major, major failure that's going to take you out of business. And I think if I was in your shoes, I would be looking for a truck 300,000 to 500,000 mile. I would run it to about 750. Depends on the truck. Maybe I would push it to 8. Maybe. Mm-hmm. And I would trade it in or sell it, get another truck, again, between 3 and 5. And I would carry on making money. I would have a reliable truck because this is what you hit later on. All right, let's say you paid your truck off. Let's say now it's 800,000 miles. Maybe you have a honeymoon of 100,000 miles, which is going to be a year, right? If that. And now you have a truck that breaks down and requires the maintenance a lot more than a better truck, newer truck. Now your breakdowns are actually costing more than your payment. And I'm not saying that the truck with a payment is not going to break down. The only difference is going to be that the truck with a payment, that the decent truck between 300,000 miles and 750, that's a lifetime of that midlife truck,
right,
is going to be still very, very reliable for you to count on. Because how many guys we see, I can't go past Tennessee. Why? My truck is and part of the falling apart.
Yeah, so if you don't trust your truck to make it, then every load is a shitty load because it may be the one that buries your truck.
Yes.
So the problem is also once these breakdowns happen, everything that you've been stacking as far as the money from your 100,000 mile honeymoon is now going to get depleted in making those repairs.
And you're going to have the most unreliable piece of equipment that you're never going to be. Besides that, you're going to be spending more money. You're also going to be making less money because you're going to continue your business with unreliable truck. which kind of, to give you a good example, if your local barber shop says we open from 8 a.m. till 10 p.m. every day, but every day you go by, it's closed, it's not working, then it's worked for a couple hours, then it's not working for a couple days again. How long are you going to keep on going to the same barber shop and hitting the door? Maybe once or twice, and that's it. So the same goes with the trucking. You need a reliable piece of equipment because the payment is not scary. What's scary is inconsistency, is an inability to know that you can make from point A to point B, get home and make money.
Yeah, and don't get us twisted. There are success stories, but they're not as frequent as people think.
Yes, we actually have an owner-operator on our fleet. The last time I think he checked with me, he had 1,300,000 miles on his freightliner Columbia, if I'm not wrong. And it has a Detroit engine. 1,300,000 miles, no overhaul.
Yeah.
No major repairs. Like major meaning overhaul of engine, transmission, and differentials.
Right, but in the back of his head, he knows.
In the back of his head, he knows that the major breakdown comes in. He's either retiring or he needs another truck.
Exactly. So he's ready.
He's not going to be dumping $25,000 into old piece of shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not piece of shit. It's running.
Yeah, no, it's. But again, his maintenance, what he's done religiously.
But this is so exception because most trucks at about, I don't know, to be safe, 750 and up, but at around 900,000 miles, man, I know some very, very experienced owner operators who know their equipment very, very well, and they start failing because
that's what I'm saying.
It's unpredictable.
There's when you go on the forums and guys, they'll highlight the success story. That's great, but also take it with a grain of salt because go to 1 and 9 in New Jersey. All those right here on 41 in Tampa, like all those million plus 1 mile trucks on the in those shops getting work done, not getting work done, sitting there for months at a time. So before you buy your equipment, just consider all facts. Like you have to stay on the road for your business to be successful. You need the proper equipment to do so.
Absolutely. So there is no such thing as I buy an equipment, I pay it off, then I do the overhaul, then I do the transmission rebuild, and then I do differentials, and then I have a brand new truck. No, man. After overhaul, maybe you have 100,000 miles like warranty. You're probably going to come back to the shop a couple of times. Through that time, lose a little bit of money because it's warranty, so we're going to have to look into it. It's going to take a little bit of time. I say, unless you're an actual mechanic that can actually do it yourself, but you just choose not to, don't even get involved into those things, man. You don't know enough. You can make so much more money paying attention to your fuel economy, doing the right thing, picking the right truck, making the right business decisions, doing proper maintenance, and then selling the truck in the right time.
Here we go.
Because there is always, there is always some local guy that only runs like in one town or, one county or one state. To him, that older truck maybe is doable. I don't know why. I would not choose that regardless. But to him, maybe he is a mechanic. Maybe it's his hobby. I don't know. Maybe he can afford to be fixing his truck every other day. But you, as somebody with aspirations of building a trucking business, no, you cannot afford that.
Yeah, that guy might be on his way out, and it's kind of a semi-retirement type thing that he doesn't have to run all the time. But if you're the one entering into this business, you want to hit the ground running with everything you have, with the inertia behind you and energy to be successful. You can't half step it.
Yeah, and there is no minimum in trucking, guys. You go all out, and you gotta push for all the money in the world, or don't do it, because there is no bare minimum. If you're just gonna work just to get by, your truck probably, even if you're gonna buy it at 300,000 miles, you're probably gonna run out of money at 500,000 when the truck is still kind of good.
Yeah, for sure, man.
All right, guys. Anyway, if you are based out of Florida and you're looking for a better owner-operator business opportunities, give us a call, 863-342-5171. We're located right here in Mulberry, Florida, just a few miles south of Lakeland. Please like, share, subscribe, share it with your friends, share it with other truckers. Let's share this valid information so the negative comments, the negative opinions of people who probably have no idea what we're talking about is not going to taint good people who actually do have ambitions in life and who are trying to accomplish something. And the time is never going to be perfect. The most perfect time is always now, because you can do it right now or in any conditions.
So here we go, guys. Once again, 863-342-5171.
All right, guys. Take care.